Yes.
Sir, please start.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, all of you. Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to discuss about the topic that is planned growth. So, what are planned? So what are plant growth regulators? Plant growth regulators are also called as plant hormones. Plant hormones are having another name that is called phytohormones. Phytohormones are signal molecules produced within the plant that occur in extremely low concentration. Actually, they are chemical molecules. For the hormones only, we are able to perform different types of function. For example, insulin hormone is responsible for the absorption of the sugar molecule and further activities. So in the same way, within the plant, several different types of chemical molecules are being produced. They are called signal molecules. Why they are called signal molecules? They act as a signal between the different plant organs, and they are responsible for different physiological activities in the plant. They occur in extremely low concentration. Extremely low concentration means they are present in nanograms. They do not present in milligrams or like that. They are present in very small quantity. Next, what is the main function of these plant hormones? Plant hormones control all aspects of the plant growth and development. Since the germination of the seed, the plant goes through the different stages. The most important stages are plant growth and development. Growth means increase in the size. Development means formation of different types of organs and performing different types of activities such as reproduction, etc. So these plant hormones, they play an important role in the plant growth, development, embryogenesis, regulation of the organ size, pathogen defense. Pathogen defense means during its lifetime, each plant or tree is exposed to different types of pathogenic particles. When it is exposed to the different types of pathogenic particles, the plant may face different types of diseases. So the hormones also helps the plant to protect itself from various types of pathogenic organisms. They also helps in the stress tolerance. Every plant will undergo through different types of stress like temperature, water availability, salt, so acidity. So different types of stress will be there. The hormones will help the plants to overcome this stress, and they also helps the plant to go through the reproductive. So in simple one, we can say that these phytohormones are plant hormones. Nowadays they are being called as plant growth regulators. They are the signal molecules produced in the plants that are present in the very extreme low concentration. Even though they are present in very, very low concentrations, they help the plants to continue its life cycle and complete its life cycle. So these plant growth regulators are basically classified into two types. Growth promoting hormones, which are also called as growth promoters. They are responsible for the increase in the growth of the plant. Auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins. Auxins, gibberellins and cytokinins are called as growth promoting hormones. There are two more types of plant growth regulators are there. They are abscisic acid and ethylene. They are called growth inhibiting hormones. That means they stop the growth. So we are having two types of hormones. One that is encouraging the growth of the plant, another one which is inhibiting the growth of the plant. We generally feel that any hormone that enhances the growth of the plant is a good hormone, and any hormone that inhibits the growth of the plant is called may be considered as a bad hormone, but that is not the case. Both promoting hormones are required as well as inhibiting hormones are required. So plant growth hormones are of two types. These two types are classified into promoting and inhibiting hormones. Both inhibiting and promoting hormones, both of them are required for the growth and development of the plant. Promoting hormones play an important role at certain stage of the lifetime, whereas inhibiting hormones play another important role at certain stages of the life. Without any one of them, the plant cannot complete its life cycle, the plant cannot grow, the plant cannot develop. So basically two types: growth promoting hormones and growth inhibiting hormones. So who discovered them? First of all, they were discovered by Charles Darwin and his son Francis Darwin. Auxins were first isolated by F.W. Wendt. Auxins are the first hormones to be isolated. Auxins were the first plant growth regulators to be isolated. So they were first time isolated by F.W. Wendt. E. Kurosawa first isolated gibberellins. And Skoog and Miller, they isolated the cytokines. Cousins is a name. He discovered the ethylene as a plant growth regulator. P.F. Waring in UK and F.T. Adicott in USA in 1961 discovered the growth inhibiting hormone, and it was named as abscisic acid. So all plant growth regulators were not identified at same time. Different plant growth regulators were identified, isolated, and their characters are elucidated at different periods of time in 19th century. So today we will discuss about the 5 different types of plant growth regulators. Among them, the first one is the auxins. Auxin origined from a name called auxin. They were first isolated from the human urine only. So where these auxins are produced? Auxins are generally produced by stem and root epices. Epices means topmost part of the any organ. For example, stem epices means it is the topmost region of the stem. Root epices means it is the lowermost part of the root. So auxins are generally produced by stem and root epices. So there are different types of auxins are there, but among them indole ester acid. Indole ester acid is a natural auxin. Natural auxin means it is naturally present in the plant. But for horticultural purposes means for growing fruit yielding plants, flower yielding plants. So scientists developed certain synthetic auxins. So what are the examples of synthetic auxins? Naphthalene ester acid and 2,4-dichlorophenolic acid. These are called synthetic auxins. So auxins are once again two types: natural auxins and synthetic auxins. The auxins that are available within the plant, within the natural environment, are called natural auxins. The auxins that are synthetically produced in the industry for commercial purposes are called synthetic auxins. We are having examples for natural auxins as well as synthetic auxins. So who first described them? Fritz Warmolt Wendt in 1920 first time discovered them, and Kenneth V. Thibault, he was the first one to isolate phytohormone and identify the structure of the indole ester acid. As I just now told, dear students, indole ester acid is a naturally existing auxin. So what are the functions of the auxin? As I told, each plant growth regulator have a specific function to perform. That specific function helps the plants to grow and develop. So without these plant growth regulators, plants cannot grow, plants cannot develop. So among them, the first one is the auxin. What this auxin will play? It play an important role in number of activities. If you take any plant growth regulator, each plant growth regulator play an important role in many activities, not a single activity. So what does it do? It is responsible for cell division and elongation. If you take any plant, this plant begins its life cycle as a small plant, but it grows in size. For the growth in size, the number of cells present inside the plant must increase. That increase takes place by cell division and elongation. Who is responsible for this cell division and elongation? Auxins are responsible for cell division and elongation. So if auxins are present in sufficient quantity, then only the cells will elongate. When the cells elongate, then only they will undergo division. When they divide, if that process continues, the plant size increases. Auxins also are responsible for promotion of the flowering. To continue every plant life cycle, it has to produce more flowers. When it produces more flowers, it produces more seeds. When it produces more seeds, it will have more offspring. So if a plant is not producing flowers, if you spray auxins, it will produce the flowers. For example, paddy is there. If you are growing a hybrid paddy, that is male and female hybrids, they will spray the auxins. What these auxins will do? Auxins will increase the flowers. For example, if you are having horticulture, for example, you are having tomato plant, it is not producing any flowers. If it is not producing any flowers, it won't produce any fruits. If it won't produce any fruits, it is a loss for the farmer. So in an area, if tomato crop is not producing flowers, we spray the auxins. When we spray the auxins, the plant will produce the flowers, more fruits, more profit to the farmer. Auxins also responsible for tropism. Tropism means likening. Tropism means affinity, likening. Phototropism. If you put a stem and put the light in one direction, the stem goes in that direction only. In which direction the light is present. That is called phototropism. Movement of the plant organs or growth of the plant organs towards the light is called phototropism. That phototropism is because of auxins. And if you take the roots and if you put anywhere, they try to grow towards the earth. So the affinity, the loving of the roots to grow towards the earth is called gravitropism. Phototropism, the likening of the plant organs, stem, leaves to grow towards the light is called phototropism. The affinity of the roots to the earth is called gravitropism. Both these tropism are possible because of the auxins, and prevents abscission of fruits and leaves. So what is abscission? Abscission means a falling down of the fruits and leaves. Falling down of the fruits and leaves. When leaves are young, they don't fall down. When fruits are young, they should not fall down. That is, the falling down of the leaves and fruits is called abscission. If the plant loses leaves in the very young stage, it cannot perform photosynthesis. If it cannot perform photosynthesis, it cannot synthesize food material. If it cannot synthesize food material, it cannot produce flowers. If it cannot produce flowers, it cannot produce fruits, and it is a loss for the farmer. In the same way, if the fruits drops in the very young age, for example, if you take a coconut tree, sometimes you can see very small fruits falling down. If you take sitafal, the sitafal fruits starts falling at very young age. If the fruits fall down at very young age, it will be a loss for the farmer. So to prevent that, the farmers will spray auxins on the plant, auxins on the crop. When they spray the auxins on the crop, the fruits and leaves stay as it is. And these auxins are also responsible for fruit development, increase in the size. These auxins are also responsible for apical dominance. Apical dominance means the growth of the stem in the upper region only called as apical dominance. The growth of the stem. For example, if you take some plants, they continuously go straight only. If you want to form the branches, you have to cut the uppermost region. Why the plant is growing in the straight direction only? Because of the apical dominance. Apical dominance means apex means the topmost. Dominance means it is dominating. When it is dominating, the plant grows only in the upward direction. If you want to stop its growth and develop branches, for example, in tea plantation, we want more branches. If you have more branches, you will have more leaves. If you have more leaves, you will get more profit. For that purpose, we cut the uppermost part of the stem, then the branches will come. Apical dominance. And auxins are also responsible for root initiation and development. That means the promotion of the formation of the roots and their development. So auxins play a vital role in various functions of the plant. It is responsible for cell division and elongation. It is responsible for formation of more flowers. It is responsible for the growing of the stem towards the light. It is responsible for the growing of the root towards the earth. It is responsible for prevention of falling down of fruits and leaves. It increases the fruit size. It is responsible for apical dominance. It is responsible for root initiation and development. Here we have shown. So this is the apex region. This part is called as apex region. Because of that, here the cells divide at a rapid rate. Why the cells divide at a rapid rate? Here more auxins are present. In the we told in the previous slide. Auxins are generally produced by stem and root abscess. That means they are present at the top regions. As they are present at the top regions, more division takes place. So that is why apical dominance is there. Auxins inhibits the lateral buds. Auxins controls the leaf abscission. Auxins are responsible for the more amount of root growth. So they performs all these functions. So auxins are also responsible for initiate rooting in stem cuttings. So most of the times what we do is we take small stems. For example, if hibiscus is there, jasmine is there, what we do, we cut a small stem and put it in the soil. That is nerium. So in most of the plants, we cut the stem and put it in the soil. The stem will develop roots and it will develop into a new plant. That is a normal practice in horticulture. But some of them will develop roots, some of them won't develop roots. But if you dip these stems in auxin solution, all of them will develop the roots. If you put this tip of the stem in the auxins and put it in the soil, all of them will develop the roots, because auxins are having a property to develop roots. Auxins are responsible for apical dominance. We just discussed about that. They prevents fruit and leaf drop at early stage, but promotes the abscission of old mature leaves and fruits. Abscission means getting separated from the stem. Separation of leaves, separation of fruits from the stem is called abscission. When the leaves are young, when the fruits are young, they should be associated with the plant. When the leaves are old, fruits are mature, they have to drop away from the plant. In the early stages, the auxins prevents this dropping. If auxins are not there, they will fall down. For example, the most common example is mango tree. Mango tree produces a lot of fruitlets. That means small fruits. But 80% will drop. Why that 80% will drop? Because of abscission. Now we are going through the winter season. Most of the trees shed leaves. That shedding of leaves is called abscission. Shedding of leaves is called abscission. At this time, plant contains less amount of auxins. As it contains less amount of auxin, more amount of abscisic acid, the plant will shed the leaves. So auxins are also responsible for formation of lateral branches in roots. More the number of roots, more stability to the plant, more amount of water absorption. So auxins are responsible for more lateral branches, promotes feminism in plants. Feminism is not only promoted in the mankind, feminism is also promoted in the plants. More female flowers, some of the plants contains female flowers and male flowers different, separately. If the plant contains male flowers, it won't produce much fruits. If it won't produce much fruits, it is not economical. So for example, cucurbita, ridge gourd, all these contains male and female flowers separately. If you spray auxins on them, they produces more female flowers. When they produces more female flowers, for example, recently we had Batkama. In that Batkama, we take the Gaurama. That Gaurama contained flowers are female flowers. Normally, female flowers are less, male flowers are more. But we want more female flowers than male flowers, because male flowers are of no use. They won't produce any fruits, they won't produce any seeds, they are of no use. So if you spray these auxins on such plants, they produces more amount of female flowers. When they produces more amount of female flowers, we will have more amount of fruits. Auxins are also responsible for parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy means seedless fruits. Nowadays in every fruit we don't want seeds. So if you spray auxins on the fruit yielding plant, they feel that sexual reproduction happened and they produces the fruit. That is called seedless fruit. That is a parthenocarpy. And auxins are also responsible for more flowering in the plants. So auxins promotes the formation of xylem and phloem. Promotes the formation of xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem are the vascular tissues. That means xylem is responsible for water transport, phloem is responsible for food transport. So these two are very important. These auxins are used as a herbicide also. They are used for killing the dicotyledonous weeds. Auxins play an important role in the increase of the fruits. So auxins are having lot of application in horticulture. Horticulture means fruit yielding plants. Floriculture means flower yielding plants. So growth of fruit yielding and flower yielding plants is a branch of botany that is called horticulture. In the horticulture, these auxins play an important role. So if you go back and see, auxins are present in a natural condition as well as artificial condition. Generally, they are present in the stem and root apices. They were discovered in 1920. They are responsible for cell division and cell elongation. They are responsible for producing more flowers. They encourage tropism. They prevent the falling down of the fruits and leaves. They develop the fruits. They are responsible for apical dominance. They encourages the root formation in the plants. In horticulture, they are used for vegetative propagation. They prevents the fruit and leaf drop. They promotes the formation of lateral branches in roots. They encourages the formation of more female flowers in the plants. They are also responsible for formation of seedless fruit that is called parthenocarpy. They promotes flowering in pineapple. They are also responsible for the formation of vascular tissue such as xylem and phloem. Sometimes they may be used as herbicides also, and they are responsible for increasing size of fruit. A single hormone playing these many activities with a lot of commercial significance in the horticulture. Then we go to the another important hormone that is called gibberellins. So gibberellins are also plant hormones. They are called gibberellic acids or plant hormones. They regulate various development processes in the plants. What they regulate the stem elongation. Stem elongation means growth in the size of the stem is called stem elongation. They controls the germination of the seeds. They controls the dormancy. Dormancy means some of the seeds. For example, if a plant produces seed, if you take that seed and put it in the soil and spray some water, it germinates. But some of them exhibits a condition called dormancy. If you put that seed in the soil, even if you give water and it provides all the favorable conditions also, it won't develop. Dormancy means sleep. Some seeds are having certain sleeping period. After sleeping period only they will germinate. This is to give favorable environmental condition. For example, we are having so many seeds. Now the seeds will fall on the soil. But what is the next season? The next season is summer. If they germinate in the summer, the extreme heat conditions in the summer are responsible for the death of that small plant. So they wait until the rainy season comes. So this period, about 3 to 4 months period, is called as dormancy. Gibberellins are also encourages flowering. Gibberellins are responsible for flower development. Gibberellins are responsible for leaf and fruit senescence. Senescence means aging. Senescence means aging. Every organism, every part of our body undergoes aging. In the same way, the plant body also undergoes aging. So the gibberellins performs different functions. There are more than 100 different types of gibberellins, not one or two. They are named as GA1, GA2, GA3, etc. All gibberellin acids are acidic. Gibberellic acids. That means it is an acid. GA3 was the first to be discovered. So these gibberellins, they have some important horticultural activities. It helps to increase the length of the grape stalk. Grape stalk means if you go to the market and you purchase the grapes are not individually available. Grapes are arranged in the form of a bunch. The central part, this is called stalk. Here you can see the stalk on the left side. More the length of the stalk, more amount of grapes are present. More amount of grapes, farmer gets benefited. So this gibberellins enhances the length of the grape stalk. Gibberellins are commonly sprayed in the grape gardens to increase the stock of the grapes so that more grapes will be present. Gibberellins are responsible for elongation of fruits. So for example, if you go to market, if you are having oval shaped apple and round shaped apple, you generally buy oval shaped apples, because oval shaped apples are more tasty compared to that of the round apples. When we spray the gibberellins, the apples become oval in shape and they gives good looking and good taste to the fruits. So gibberellins are responsible, sir, for fruit formation. Gibberellins delay senescence. Senescence means getting old. Senescence means getting old. Gibberellins prevents senescence. That means they keeps the leaves and fruits young. So for example, mango tree is there. It produced the fruits. After producing it fruits, it starts maturing. Within 1 month, it will mature. But if all the mangoes comes to the market at a time, the farmer won't get much price. The demand will be less. So what the farmer will do, he will spray the gibberellins. When he spray the gibberellins, the fruits remains young without maturing, and for 10-15 more days. When it stays young for 10 to 15 days more, the availability of mangoes in the market decreases and he will get more price. So delays senescence. So in the previous slide we have seen they are responsible for stem elongation, they controls germination, they control seed dormancy, they are controls flowering, flower development, and fruit and leaf senescence. Here we have seen some properties. So they are also responsible for bolting. Bolting means internode elongation. For example, if you take the cauliflower plant, the cauliflower inflorescence gets extended. Here we have shown it. The cauliflower inflorescence gets extended, and at the top of it, it contains the fruit, that is flower, that is called cauliflower. So in sugar cane, more the size of the sugar cane, more the length of the sugar cane, the farmer will get more money. So if you spray the gibberellins on the sugarcane field, the sugarcane crop will grow and more sugar will be present. So he will have more amount of profits. So gibberellins are second class of the plant hormones. They controls different functions such as stem elongation, germination, dormancy, flowering, flower development, leaf and fruit senescence. So 100 different types of gibberellins are there. All gibberellin acids are acidic. GA3 was the first gibberellin to be discovered. So they are responsible for the increase in the length of the grape stalk. They elongates the fruits like apple. They delays the senescence and keeps the leaves and fruits young. They promotes internode elongation. They are responsible for increasing the size of the sugarcane plant. They also hastens seed production. The next important plant growth regulator is cytokinin. The name itself indicates cytokinin. It is responsible for cell division. There are also phytohormones. They promote cell division. They promote cell division. The process is called cytokinesis. Where it promotes cell division? It promotes cell division in plant roots and shoots. What is their main function? It is responsible for cell growth and differentiation. Cell growth means increase in the number of cells. Increase in the size of the cell is called cell growth. Differentiation means a formation of different types of cells is called cell differentiation. Along with that, they also perform apical dominance. Just now we discussed what is apical dominance. More amount of cytokinins, auxins produced in the topmost region, so that part grows more fast. That is called apical dominance, auxiliary bud growth, and leaf senescence. It was initially discovered by kinetin. The first cytokinin to be discovered is kinetin. But it is present in the form of zeatin, corn kernel, and coconut milk. Some of them are natural and some of them are synthetic. All plant growth regulators, some of them are natural and some of them are synthetic, whether it is auxins, gibberellins, or cytokinins. So what are the major functions of the cytokinins? They play an important role in cell division. Without cytokinins, cell division does not take place. Without cell division, there is no growth, there is no development. So cytokinins play an important role in the cell division. They are also responsible for cell elongation, increase in the size. Cell division, cell elongation, cell division, cell elongation is a cyclic process. So in both cell division and cell elongation, cytokinins play an important role along with the auxins and gibberellins. Morphogenesis means the formation of different organs is called morphogenesis. For example, each plant starts as a seed only. After being a seed, when it germinates, gradually it will develop into stem, roots, leaves, fruits, inflorescence, etc. The development of stem, roots, leaves, flowers, fruits is called morphogenesis. Morpho, structures, genesis, formation. The formation of these structures is called morphogenesis. Cytokinins play an important role in this morphogenesis. Differentiation. Differentiation means after morphogenesis, once again they have to be differentiated into different structures. For example, cytokinins induces the formation of new leaves. They induces the formation of chloroplast in leaves. They induces the formation of lateral shoots, and they induces the formation of adventitious shoot formation. So differentiation means if stem is formed, the stem has to further divided into lateral branches, etc. That is called differentiation. Sensinence. Sensinence means I told repeatedly, getting aged is called sensinence. Auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins. These three delays sensinence. That means they stops the aging of the stem, leaves, roots, fruits, etc. Abscisic acid, ethylene, they encourages the aging. Both of them are required. Helps in overcoming the apical dominance. So it stimulates the cell division, it stimulates morphogenesis, it stimulates the lateral buds, stimulates the cell enlargement. Cytokinins slow down the aging process. Cytokines stops the deterioration of the leaves. So cytokinins are also plant growth regulators. They encourages the cell division. They are responsible for the formation of roots and shoots. They are mainly responsible for cell growth and differentiation. Initially discovered as kinetin, zeatin is the most commonly occurring cytokinin. Some of them are natural and some of them are synthetic. They are responsible for cell division, cell elongation, morphogenesis. That means formation of different plant organs, further differentiation of the plant organs. They delay sensinence, they delays aging process, they helps in overcoming the apical dominance. These are the major functions performed by the cytokine. So far we discussed about the three plant growth regulators: auxins, cytokinins, and gibberellins. These three are called plant growth promoters. Plant growth promoters means they enhances the growth of the plant. That is why they are called plant growth promoters. Now we will discuss about another plant growth regulator, that is called ethylene. Ethylene is the gaseous plant growth regulator. So far whatever we discussed, they are liquid plant growth regulators, whereas this ethylene is a gaseous plant growth regulator. It is synthesized by tissues undergoing sensinence and ripening fruits. When the leaves becoming old, when the fruits becoming mature, they forms this ethylene. So for example, this is a young fruit. This young fruit starts producing ethylene inside. When it produces ethylene, it becomes mature. So if you are having a raw fruit, put it in a container and pump ethylene onto them, they will mature. So ethylene is responsible for the ripening of the tissues, especially fruits. It is the only gaseous hormone of the plants. All other are liquid status. It is naturally produced by all higher plants. It is naturally produced by all higher plants. It is able to diffuse. Any gas is able to diffuse. Actually identified by Gain, Crocker, etc. All fruits will produce ethylene. All fruits, whether it is apple, mango, all types of fruits are responsible. Fruits produces the ethylene. Ethylene is responsible for the changes in texture, softening, color, and other process involved in the ripening. For example, if you take a young mango, it is very hard. The skin is very tough. The taste is very bitter. But upon maturity, upon ripening, it is soft, the skin is thin, and it is very sweet. Who brought these changes? Ethylene brought the changes. Ethylene is the ripening hormone. It brought the changes. So ethylene also responsible for horizontal growth of the seedlings. Initially, seed has to grow horizontally. That is responsible swelling of the axis. This is called apical hook. After apical hook formation only, it will form the cotyledons. So it is responsible for the apical hook formation in dicot seedlings. Highly effective in fruit ripening. Without ethylene, the fruit won't ripe. Earlier we used to use some chemicals, but nowadays the courts have banned it. So we are using only ethylene gas to ripen the fruits. Without ethylene, the fruits won't ripen. How it makes the fruit to ripe? it increases the rate of respiration in the fruit. That is called respiratory climatic. It promotes senescence. What is senescence? Aging. So far we told auxins, cytokinins, gibberellins. They stops aging and keeps the plant young. Whereas ethylene, it promotes senescence. It is responsible for abscission of plant organs like leaves and flowers. Abscission means separation of leaves and flowers from the stem is called abscission. Auxins, cytokinins, gibberellins, they prevents abscission. Ethylene encourages abscission. So it is also responsible for initiation of germination in peanuts, seeds, sprouting of potato tubers. It promotes rapid internode elongation, petiole elongation. It promotes root growth and root hair formation and increases the absorption surfaces. It is also responsible for initiating the flowering. Pineapples don't produce much flowers, but without flowers, we don't. It is very difficult for the farmer. So when you spray the ethylene, it initiates the flowering. Ethylene breaks seed and bud dormancy. So just now we told what is seed dormancy. Seed dormancy means the seed stays in the sleeping condition and it won't germinate. If you spray ethylene, it come out of the sleep and it will germinate. Bud dormancy. Bud dormancy means each stem will have certain lateral buds. The lateral buds should form the stem branches, but they don't form branches. If they don't form branches, it will be lost for the farmer. So if you spray the ethylene, the bud will grow. Ethylene is the most widely used plant growth regulator in agriculture. It also responsible for flowering in the mango plantation. So generally, commercially, it is used in the form of ethophan. Ethophan is the commercial form of the ethylene. It enhances the ripening of fruits in tomatoes and apples. It accelerates abscission in flowers and fruits. So abscission means getting separated. Ethylene encourages the abscission. Cytokines, gibberellins, auxins, they inhibit abscission, whereas ethylene enhances the abscission. It also responsible for formation of more female flowers in cucumbers. In cucumbers, male and female flowers are separately present. More female flowers, you will have more fruits. The farmer wants more fruits, not more flowers. So by spraying ethylene, we can have more flowers. So we'll go back to ethylene once again. Ethylene is the gaseous plant growth regulator. It is synthesized generally in the aging leaves and fruits. Generally, fruits. It is the only gaseous hormone to be present in the plants, discovered in 1934. All the ripening fruits will produce the ethylene. The raw fruits produces ethylene, which help them to mature in all the horticultural plants. So these are the three important functions. At young stage, they are responsible for the horizontal growth of the seedlings. They are responsible for the swelling of the axis. They are responsible for the apical hook formation. They play a very, very important role in fruit ripening. Without ethylene, fruits won't ripen. How fruits ripen? When ethylene is produced, the rate of respiration increases. That increase in respiration rate is called respiratory climatic. At the same time, contrasting to the cytokines, gibberellins, auxins, it enhances the aging process. It is responsible for the falling down of the leaves and the flowers from the plants. So for example, auxins, cytokinins, gibberellins, they are preventing the plant and the leaf drop. Then why ethylene is encouraging the leaf and the fruit drop? If fruits keep hanging to the plant, the seeds will never fall on the earth. If the seeds won't fall on the earth, the seeds won't germinate. If seeds won't germinate, there is no further progress of that plant species. So at one stage, when the fruits are young, it should be fruit drop should be prevented. That role is performed by auxins, cytokinins, and gibberellins. When fruit is mature, it should fall down. That role is performed by the ethylene and abscisic acid. That's why I told in the initial stages, both the hormones, plant growth promoters and plant growth inhibitors, both of them are very important. So they enhances germination process. They promotes rapid internode elongation. They are responsible for the root hair formation. They initiate flowering. They breaks down the seed and bud dormancy. In the agriculture, in the horticulture, not only in agriculture, in horticulture, they play a very vital role. induces flowering in the mango. It is commercially used in the form of ethophane. It is responsible for ripening of tomatoes and apples. So ethylene is having very important role in the horticulture. The last one is abscisic acid. What is abscisic acid? Abscisic acid was discovered for its role in abscission and dormancy. Abscission means falling down. After a certain stage, every leaf, every flower, every fruit has to fall down. That process is performed by abscisic acid. It is also having very wide role in the horticulture. It is a plant growth inhibitor. Ethylene is a plant growth inhibitor. Abscisic acid is a plant growth inhibitor. So abscisic acid, it is responsible for stomata closure. Leaf on its surface contains several stomata. Through this stomata, transpiration takes place. Transpiration means loss of water in the vapor state. Transpiration is a necessary evil. Without transpiration, so many physiological activities gets affected. But when a plant is facing water crisis, if it loses water through by transpiration, it is a callosal loss to the plant. So the stomata must be closed. That stomatal closure is done by the abscisic acid. Abscisic acid also inhibits seed germination. Sorry. For example, a seed fall on the earth. There is a very extreme temperatures are there. If the seed germinates at that time, the seedling will die within 1 or 2 days. So the abscisic acid inhibits the seed germination. It makes the seed to wait until the favorable environmental conditions comes. It helps the seeds to withstand desiccation and other factors which are unfavorable for the growth. Abscisic acid is an antagonist to gibberellin acid. So whatever the functions gibberellin performs, that is prevented by the abscisic acid. Abscisic acid play an important role in seed development, maturation, and dormancy. So abscisic acid is another important plant growth regulator. It is a growth inhibitor. It inhibits the plant metabolism. It is responsible for the closure of the stomata. It inhibits seed germination. It encourages seed dormancy. It helps the plants to overcome the unfavorable conditions. That is why it is called a stress hormone also. It acts generally against the gibberellic acid. Whatever the activities performed by the gibberellic acid, it is counterbalanced by the abscisic acid. It plays an important role in seed development, maturation, and dormancy. So if you you must remember, plant growth regulators is an important essay question, 8 marks question. That is one point. Are any one of them, whether auxins or cytokinins or gibberellins or abscisic acid or ethylene, will be asked for 4 marks. So very important question from the examination point of view. If you club them together, abscisic acid, its composition is isoprenoid. What is its major function? It is responsible for seed and bud dormancy. Seed dormancy, I just now told, the prevention of seed to germinate. It regulates the water loss by closing the stomata. It is responsible for seed storage, dormancy. It helps the protein synthesis. Auxins, the most common auxin is indolestic acid. It is responsible for apical dominance, growing only in the upward direction, phototropism, growing towards the light, root growth, gravitropism, growth of the roots towards the soil, vascular differentiation, formation of xylem and phloem. It also encourages the flowering. It also encourages the fruit formation. We do not have brassicosteroids, but they do participate in cell division and elongation. We are having cytokinin. Cytokinins are the purine and pyrimidine derivatives. They are responsible for cell division, release of apical dominance, delay senescence. Delay senescence means they stops the aging process. Ethylene, CH2, it is responsible for fruit ripening, senescence. So you can see cytokinins delay senescence. They prevent aging. Ethylene encourages aging. They are also responsible for early seedling development. Gibberellins are geranyl C20 isoprenoid derivatives. They are responsible for stem elongation. They are responsible for seed germination. They are responsible for stimulation of flowering. So in conclusion, we can say that plant growth regulators play an important role at every stage, at a seed stage, at germination stage, at a growth stage, at flowering stage, at fruit formation stage, and in the aging of the plant also. These plant growth regulators play an important role. Some of the plant growth regulators are complementary. Complementary means they support each other. For example, auxins, cytokinins, gibberellins, they support each other. Some of them are antagonistic. Gibberellins and abscisic acid are antagonistic. That means they perform in a opposite function. And some of them are individualistic. That means a single plant growth regulator can perform one function, but some of them are synergistic. That means 2 or 3 plant growth regulators are essential. So they may be working in the same direction, or they may be working in the opposite direction. They may be working in single, or they may be working in combination with other plant growth regulators. They are responsible for various activities in the plant. They are responsible for seed dormancy. Seed dormancy, I repeatedly said, sometimes the seed has to be in the sleeping mode. That sleeping mode is called seed dormancy. They should be in the sleeping mode until the favorable conditions comes. Abscission. Abscission means the separation of leaves and fruits from the plant is called abscission. Cytokinins, gibberellins, auxins, they prevent abscission. Ethylene and abscisic acid, they encourages the abscission. Sensinence, aging. Cytokinins, gibberellins, auxins, they prevent sensinence. Ethylene and abscisic acid, they encourages the aging. Apical dominance, ability to grow in upward direction is called apical dominance. So it is but we must remember that only these plant growth regulators do not contain the do not control the plant growth. They are intrinsic factors. Several extrinsic factors like temperature, light, and other factors also play an important role in this plant growth. So I thank you, all of you. So this plan, if you can get an idea on this particular table, it will be very useful for you. So you must remember 5 plant growth hormones are there, 5 plant growth regulators classified into 2 types: plant growth promoters and plant growth inhibitors. Auxins, cytokinins, gibberellins, they are called plant growth promoters, and ethylene and abscisic acid, they are called plant growth inhibitors. Each one of them having a different function to perform. Thank you one and all for giving me this opportunity. This is a very, very important essay question, very, very important short notes from the examination point of view. So I request all the students to go through the your textbook, prepare notes for this. Once again, listen to this lesson so that you will get a complete grip on the subject. Thank you very much. I thank Shalja Madam for giving me this opportunity to present this.